Hey, hi guys. So welcome back. So what I have done is, if you see here, um, what we had done earlier, we created this init.py, then main.py, and wrote just a simple print statement here. Then after that, we created a Docker file as well, if you remember, and the requirement.txt, and we had put pandas 2.2.3 in the requirement.txt file. So the next step was to build the Docker file. What I did was I went to the terminal and uh, let me just go to the terminal first and show you what all I have done. So I ran this command, um, docker build -t real estate crm dot and dot means what happens is it will create an image named real estate crm. The image name would be real estate crm and use all the contents. I mean, the Docker file is in the home directory, it shows. Okay. So what it will do is it will go through each and every this what you say the statement and try to run it one after another. If you see here, it's first we discussed right to use officially Python based image, right? So if you see here, see, it's going to Docker IO and going to library and then checking for this particular version, Python 3.111/sim, and then it's taking that and loading it into Docker. Okay, putting it into Docker image. Once that is done, we are setting the working directory as /app. Okay, so your working directory is /app it's setting. Then I'm copying the requirement or txt into this. So copying requirement, then installing the requirement uh, .txt, whatever. So it will install that pandas. Then copying all the content in the home directory and whatever we have in the local, right? It will go and copy it into Docker's home directory here. Okay, and then we are exporting the image now. So it's creating the image, so it creates the image based on the information, and then at the end it also runs this app using main.py. So while running the app, right, so when we click on, so what happens after this step, it creates a docker image with for all these steps. Okay, and as you can, let me show it to you. If I go to images, if you see here real estate crm, it created some image ID it gives, and it gives a size. So size is 643. It's a very used size since all the Python version and everything is installed here, right? So that's the reason the size is so huge. When we click on run here, right? So when we click on run, what happens? A container is created. So this image is put into that container and it will then run. So if I go to containers, so this container was created Frosty Williamson. Uh, and once if you go inside the container, if you see the logs, it says welcome to real estate CRM, right? So this is how usually how the Docker works. Um, so we'll be creating container for our application where it keeps on getting request. The container will get the request. We run the container here locally. Container will get the request, API request. So that is how we'll be building. So hope a basic understanding of Docker is clear to you. Okay, we'll be learning more little bit uh, of Docker little by little. Hope that is fine. So now the next step is I'll close this extension as well. Okay. So now what I want to do is let's create a simple API. Okay. Just like we want to create an API, like we want to have a function named get info, and it will just tell us what is the app which we are building. Okay, so it will return like we are building a CRM app for real estate agents. Okay, so that is what we try to create now. Um, so what happens is, to make this, so if I go to I mean browser and start typing that, maybe real estate CRM slash get info, it will not work because this is not a, we have not created a server yet. We have to create a HTTP server which will, um, which will be able to get the HTTP request, right? So that is the reason we have to create the HTTP server. So how do we create that HTTP server? Even I was not knowing. So I went ahead and asked ChatGPT. If you see here, I do not have any understanding. Let me just go through the files. So it told me to create, one second, step by step. Hmm. Okay, yeah. So I asked it what to do, right? So it told me to put the this particular line of code, class simple request handler and do get and server and all this kind of steps that it told me, and it says that get info kind of method, right? Which gives me message as hello, but that is not what we want exactly, right? So what if tomorrow we have lot of functions, mm, maybe get info, then maybe get the different info, so or maybe log in or log out, or maybe get user details, or insert a user, that kind of functions we want. And we have to also, we want to create different files, right? If you see here, it's saying that in main itself you put this all this information. So how do we do it? Like we have to again copy this particular file, and then sorry, line, and then paste it here again, and again put get maybe get different info, and then write all the logic there. Um, so that is not a good practice because editing or maintaining that would be very difficult to do. So what we can do is we want to separate out things. We want to separate this. Um, First is this, like this simple request handler class. Maybe this creates a server, right? So we want to write the creation of the server in a different file in itself, right? Maybe server.py, like that file. Then ChatGPT told me that we can do that like that. So let me just show it to you. You will be able to understand. See, different file I want. So it gave me that I have to write this, and run it. See, uh, this kind of different we have to put, but we want it in a different file in itself, right? So yeah, different dot file is giving different information, then main dot file is having different information, then server, in that we can put like this self dot path equal to main get info, and then just response is calling this get info from here, and then server dot path, if server dot path is like this, different file and different get info, then it will call this get different info function from this different file which we have imported here, right? But here also, if there are thousand different files or thousand different APIs, then we have to keep on writing it here, right? So I asked it to, so what would be the solution, better solution to this? So what it said that we can create a different, what you say, a simple uh, dictionary of all the routes. Okay, so if you see here, let me, yeah, so yeah, it is creating a say, different routes in a different file, and we have this routes like main get info, then call this get info function, a different file get different info, and call this get different info function. Let this key and value pair we are mapping in routes named dictionary, and then will be handling that. Like whenever someone calls, we will check what kind of function we have to call. So routes get means getting self.path is like which path someone has entered, then routes.get, and it will get that info. Okay, so first what we'll do is like we'll create a simple uh, um, see this init.py. So um, okay, what we'll do is we'll create first the server, simple server. Okay, so let's go ahead and create a server first, and then I'll hopefully you understood it. But anyway, if you are not understanding, just do what I do right now. So it will be very easy for you to understand later on. I will explain everything because I myself need to understand everything. So okay, so HTTP. So I have named it as server.py, and now I'm pasting all the server code here. So what it's doing here? So first is HTTP server. This is a package, and it's importing this base HTTP handler and HTTP server from it. Okay, I'll remove this handler logic from here first. Okay, import JSON because we want to return a JSON string right at the end. So that's the reason. Now in a server, we want to we don't want something like this, right? Uh, here here we want 1 second. Here we want this kind of uh, routes. Handler equal to route.get contains handler and a routing logic, right? So this is a handler logic we want to have. We don't want this if else if else. First we want to have handler equal to routes.get and self.path. So this particular base HTTP handler, right? So what we are doing is first this start server will be called. Okay, and server address will be since we are on local, it will be localhost itself, and 8000 is the port. It creates a HTTP server. HTTPD is a just a variable, and it creates a HTTP server object. Okay, and server address we have to put, and we have to put where the handler is. And where, whatever request comes, how to handle those requests. So we have written this above class for that. Now printing, it just log printing that this particular server is running at localhost, and serve forever is one of the method of HTTP server which will keep on running, and it will keep on listening for new request. Okay, so now when it creates this, it comes here and it creates a handler logic. It checks into routes.get and self.part is one of the variable static variable which we get like whenever when we create a new request, right? Suppose in the browser we are going and typing something like localhost colon 8000, right? Well, so and then main slash get info and click on enter. So this main.get info will be passed as um, passed it into server.path. Okay, so here we are getting is like routes.get self.path, and where first this will be added, and then it will check inside our routes dictionary that okay, this path maps to which particular function. So it will support it maps to get info function. So get info function will be added to this handler, and then we'll just in this we'll just call this handler method because so if you see here, if handler, that means if someone handler is having something, right? That is what I think ChatGPT also suggested. If handler, that means if handler is holding something, a path, any path here, then we just put a response equal to handler. Okay, handler and call these functions because we are storing it as a name, right? If you see inside the routes dot inside this routes, we are putting it get info. So if we put the parenthesis, it will directly call that particular function. Hope you are able to understand here now. And else, if there is nothing, then we send a 404 response code and end the headers and 404 write 404 not found, that kind of issue. And if everything is good, right, response we are setting with the handler, the code will run and some response will be generated by the code. It will store it into this response variable, and then we'll be um, send the response 200, then set the headers as this because that will be taken care by the front end, then end the headers, and here we have to write the response right in the w file. So json.dumps, and we have to dump this response because we'll be sending a JSON file with key value. So we'll be dumping that and we'll encode it as a JSON and send it to the caller, which is the UI maybe, a client in our case, right? UI is the client. So hope this is understood now. Handler, did I misspell it here? Okay. So this is good, but we have to now define the handler as well, right? Sorry, routes. We have do not have routes here. So routes will be defining in the init.py. So init.py will be using star for starting the server here. Okay, let's go to init.py and then we are routes, putting routes here and then hmm, so and suppose here we have a simple function named getinfo. Hmm, def get info, and inside this will print this is a area listed CRM app. Okay, just a simple message we are putting here, and this init.py right now we just have this get info, and but we have to also tell where is this get info, right? So we have to import main.py here. Sorry, how to we import a file? Import main from main. Sorry, from main import get info. Okay, so it will go to main, it will import this function get info. Now we have at least we have server and we have a handler as well. Here routes is giving an issue because we have to import routes from the init. So maybe from init import routes. So this is cool. Something is happening. Maybe I think I did it correctly. Sorry. Uh, Hmm. Oh, yeah, one more thing which we want to do is we have to start the server as well, right? So here in it itself, uh, we'll also import the server here. Okay, okay. From server, import start server function, and then we'll be uh, starting the server, right? Start the server, and then why this handler is giving? Handler we have defined, right? If something is inside a class, we can directly refer it, right? Uh, okay, let's see if it works now. At least this. So with this property is done. Uh, okay, how do we now start? Is it like okay? How do we run this? Let me put it here for ChatGPT. Run the package as a module. It says. Oh, okay. So it is under this app, right? So that's why. But let's try this because I think this is more much a better way. F1M from main input get info, get module details. Now module named main. Okay, let's try. Let's run it later on. Let's try this. Cannot import name start server from partially initialized module server. Start server is there. Then here you get start server. Import start server. It will call start server. Come here. Then start server is called. So what is happening here? Okay, we anyway we will be getting such kind of errors, and that is how we will be solving all these issues. From server import start server init import routes import error cannot import name start server from partially initialized module server, most likely due to circular import. Okay, let's copy this and paste it in uh, our circular import or import tries to do from dot server import start server. But if your server by itself tries to import something from app or indirectly imports in oh, okay, okay, got it. How to fix? mean. Got it. Got it. So what we have done is, since we are also importing in it, right? So it's cross-referencing both the packages. So that's why a circular input is being created. So what we'll do is, uh, let's create a routes, a different routes in itself. Okay, routes.py, routes.py or routes.py, and keep it here. And then inside this, we'll put, so we'll create a separate file for routes, right? Mean and route start server will come here, and here from routes import routes. Okay, and this will import the routes, routes. uh, I'm not so good with English, but yeah, hopefully you will also understand. Okay, now I think it looks good. Let's see. uh, let's start. The self is not defined, self dot path. Okay, okay, it's because uh, self is only, um, if it's a constructor, then uh, we can have self, right? So here I think this one should be written inside the do get function. I think that's the reason that self, yeah. A handler also was giving the error, but yeah. So do get is called, it will get the path and it will call the function. Let's create in the path. Allow server is running at localhost 8080. Let's copy this and try to paste it here. It's already there, and main and getting, right? Okay, it's giving null. Let me print what giving null. Let's try to understand now. We are coming here. It's um, main slash, it will come to routes, and slash main slash get underscore info. It's get info. What did I pass? Get underscore info. Let's try to pass the same thing which is in the routes. Okay, here, fine. Okay, it's not giving, maybe because, let's try to debug this as well. Is there an option to put a breakpoint and try to understand? Let's see if this works. Routes not in server, maybe Noob handler, right? Okay, it doesn't work like this. Let's run Python file. Okay, we don't want to do that as well. Maybe a print statement here. Self. Let's see. Oh, okay, okay. Sorry. See here, it's coming. Whenever I am requesting that, right? I don't have to write the print statement. Sorry about this. So whenever I am refreshing this, it's coming and it's posting here. This is a real estate CRM. Why? Because what we have done is we have printed this, but we what we want is we want to return this, right, in a JSON format. And JSON is like a key value object, right? So let's create an object here, and key is maybe uh, hello, and object is This is a real estate CRM app. Okay, and let's now rerun it. Mm, I think we have to cancel this, restart the server. Server is running now. Let's come here. See, this is a real estate CRM app. Great. Okay, I think we are good here now. There would be more changes because you know we can't uh, start the server maybe from init the py. There are some good practices. If you look at this, what we got from uh, the chat GPT, it said that important see use method. Okay, sorry, not this. Little bit above that, it's saying that it's a we should follow a different way to structure the code. So we'll follow all this logics and try to build on top of it. See, having a main.py or clearly named start.py is usually done to clearly separate the entry point, make it easy to test launch different parts of the application, CLI tools, chest jobs, etc. Right? So we'll create something like that, uh, and then maybe we'll start to work upon based on that. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much for